Happy Halloween. I just wanted to do a quick little prequel to my video, which I recorded yesterday, that after I recorded, I finally figured out what, excuse me, I want to change the name of my podcast to. And the new name I've decided is Welcome to Charlotte's House. So, formerly Freshwater Fibers Knitting and Sewing Podcast, I'm going to give a try to Welcome to Charlotte's House podcast. So, enjoy the show. Bye. Hello, welcome back. We are going to see how far we get from... I won't even stop. We're just going to keep going. We will see how far we get today before the dogs bark. I have some guys are out building a protection for my roses along the fence, and the dogs know they're here, and so there will be barking commencing soon, I'm sure. But anyway, my name is Charlotte. I just realized I did not introduce myself the last episode. And now we're wrestling. Okay. My name is Charlotte. I live in northern Lower Michigan on beautiful Lake Charlevoix with my husband of 26 years today. Yes, today is our wedding anniversary, 26 years. That's really weird. That's really strange, surreal to say that. So it's October 30th, 2019, and this is Clark, the rescue dog. In the background you hear the Labradors, who've chosen now to wrestle as opposed to sleep like they've been doing all day. We'll see how this goes. Okay, Clark, you're gonna have to get down now. Oh gosh, little Clark. All right, there we go. I'm trying a new spot here. Facing the windows, everything gets blown out and it's too light, so I'm actually sitting at the dining room table. You can see the living room behind me, and this seems to be really nice as far as lighting, so let's get on with the show. I'm surrounded by things here and we'll get going. Finish object. I think this was maybe almost finished by the last episode. I think this is episode 13, something like that. So yes, this is finished. This is the, can't remember the name of it. It was in the most recent volume of Interpretations with Vera Vacamelli and Hohi Locatelli. It's not the Sunday sweater. I can't remember what it is. But anyway, it's in Interpretations, the latest version. This is Vera's sweater, one of Vera's patterns. I am using, I did use, it's finished, West Wool powder. This is Bicycle, which is the fingering weight. Got this in Amsterdam this summer at Stephen and Penelope. So this is great. So nice memory from this sweater. We went to the store and I bought this yarn and Interpretations, and I cast on that night in the hotel room in Amsterdam. So a nice sweater. It fits nicely. I made the arms long enough for my long arms, and I'm gonna scooch back a little bit. I made it 2 inches shorter than what they said, which I'm glad I did, because it would have been down here and that would have been too much. So I really like this length. It's just past, I don't hear my jeans, so but yeah, very happy with it. Nice long sleeves. Hey, girls, no. I love how they look at me like, what? Hey, stop. No. Hey, Storm. Okay, they're gonna go on the deck. They can play up on the deck. All right, let's see. Were there 5 balls or 2? I can't remember, but this is what I have left. And this is the color powder, batch 1. So I'm not sure if that's the very first batch or what, but oh yeah, and it's Texel and Falkland Merino. So last episode I had no idea what Texel was, and so I looked that up. It is a wool from a very hardy British, pretty sure it's British sheep, and normally it is used in carpets. It is not a wool that is used normally for next to skin and things like that, as far as what I read. So I'm wondering if you watched the last episode, I talked about how it would be soft, and all of a sudden it was coarser. It stuck to my skin. It didn't move over my hands, and it was almost like a piece of human hair got caught in it. It just wasn't springy and soft and stretchy anymore, and then it would go away, and then every once in a while it would happen again. So I'm wondering if that was the Texel. It is kind of fuzzy. There are some hairs, not necessarily stiff guard hairs, but there are some hairs that stick up, so I'm just wondering. But overall, it's lovely. Very happy with it. If you've watched me before, you know that I love in the wintertime, my neck is covered all winter long. So I love the high neck. And, oh yeah, we're recording. For some reason, I thought we weren't recording all of a sudden. But, yeah. So, very happy. I love it. So that is finished object number 1. And another thing, this was my plain. Oh, I didn't bring the rest of the, yes I do. No, I don't. Yes I do, no I don't. Nope, I don't. I have another, I started some socks on the trip this past summer. And I had ordered some, this is Peppermint Mocha from Freckled Whimsy. I showed the label to you last episode. But this, I started these on the airplane on our trip, and they are both done. Yay! If you recall, it did not matter to me if the stripes did not match, so they're just kind of mismatched socks. I used an afterthought heel. I cannot for the life of me remember what I used this red in. It might have been a mini. Remember if you've watched before, the knee socks that I made, that was from, a whimsical wood yarn. And it was the socks where I tried to do it my own, and then they kind of went yip, yip, in the calf. The purple ones, purple and red stripe. Maybe I used this in the toes. But anyway, so this is the easiest sock in the world from Arne and Carlos. I use double pointed needles, and they put 16 stitches per, you start with 4 stitches. Well, this pattern used to be free, but they have changed their website, and now everything is paid for. So I guess I can't, if you go to my old episode where I talked about the easiest sock in the world when the pattern was free, I don't know how that works. I don't know. It was free and now it's not, but I've already told you how to do it. But anyway, I guess I don't know if I can keep talking about it since it's not free anymore. I have no idea. Anyway, I've got the pattern memorized now. It works perfectly for me. They start with so many stitches to cast on, And they go up to 16 inches per needle. I go up, and again, this is DPNs, I go up to 14 inches per needle because that's just my skinny feet, and they manage to stay nice on my feet. And I just went so long, and I have not weighed it, but I bet you I have half a skein left of this Peppermint Mocha. So, I don't know, maybe I'll make another pair of socks. But, yeah, so you do the toe, you go from the toe until 2 inches from the back of your heel, use some scrap yarn. That's how you do a set and heel. That's not part of their pattern, so I can tell you that. Anyway, so yes, we're got the pink on here. So they're fun, lots of fun. My first pair of Christmas socks. So those are finished. We are just whipping through the projects today. Let's see, and the girls both have practice after school, so we've got time. We'll stick with knitting. Oh, here it is. I have one more finished object. This yarn I'd had for a while. Oh, what was I just looking at? And they had, oh yeah, hang on a second. The current issue of Webs came in the mail, the Webs catalog, and in the back, they have this kit, the Blue Sky Fibers, and it's the Color Slouch knit kit. So it's this one in the middle for the hat. And here's the hat here. I had bought this somewhere at a yarn store, oh my gosh, quite a while ago. And so I had it downstairs, and it comes just like this with all the minis. Actually, I took pictures, so I'll insert, hopefully. My history with trying to edit is very poor, so we'll see if I get it to work. But if it works, you will be looking at how I spread all they were all these little mini skeins of yarn. So I laid them out in the sequence that I liked. And then I made I don't know what they're called. Are they called crazy balls? Or where you just keep winding and you just keep wrapping one yarn after the other to make a continuous ball with different, I've seen people use it with scrap yarn or leftover yarn. You could do it if you're gonna do like the granny square scrap blanket. So you didn't have to weave in ends. So that's what I did. I knew I wanted to start with this teal blue on the outside edge. And so I just wound all the colors in the order that I had them laid out. This is what I have left, even after making a pom-pom. So I wanted to use it all up, but that's what I have left. So those colors didn't get used. Now, you will also see that is a slouchy hat. And I've already discussed why I don't like slouchy hats. So I gave the pattern to Geraldine. She looks cute as a bug's ear in a slouchy hat. She's got beautiful, round, picture-perfect face and cute little features. Rectangular and angular don't do slouchy very well. So I found, do I have a picture of the big hat? No. I found this hat pattern, classic cuffed hat from Purl Soho. I found that pattern, and here's my hat. So, yep, these are all, I just use the minis. I splice them together. You can see that right here. So no ends to weave in. It did not bother me one bit. That you would see, no, that's not a join. Where's a join? Oh, okay, right here you can see that one. Right here between the yellow and the gray. Oh, right here too. Does not matter. It's okay. Used DPNs, made a pom-pom. And it's just the cutest little thing. So here we go. That is a stiff pom-pom. I wrapped the pom-pom maker around and around and around and around and around. I mean, it was like getting the thing closed. And then as soon as I started to cut, it went poof. No! And I squished it back together. And we managed to get it. But yeah, that pom-pom is packed tight. But there you go. So my goal this winter is to stash bust. This was in my stash forever. This was not, of course. That was kind of in my stash, the Freckled Whimsy yarn for the socks. I bought it this summer, but it was in my stash. I didn't buy it just for the socks. I don't know if that counts as stash busting. Anyway, I used it, but I have half of it left. Trying to use things up, but anyway, it's a fun hat. The yarn is really nice. Oh, I have a label. Woolstok Worsted by Blue Sky Fibers, Mini Hank. Oh, honestly, I think I need to get glasses. Suddenly in the last 6 months, I cannot read the fine print. Reading at night, forget it. It's like the words aren't even blurry. There's just like letters are everywhere. It's just really weird. And I've been trying readers. Every time I go to the store, I try readers on. Oh wait, my husband's readers are right over here. I mean, I can read it kind of, but it's not crisp and clear, and it's like all of a sudden, it's really strange. But I'm getting older, and I've made it this far. So look at these snazzy. Home Depot. Home Depot. Well, look at that. 100% fine Highland wool. It's still not very clear. I don't know what my problem is. No. For it to be clear, I gotta hold it all the way up here. I have no idea. Anyway, Home Depot. So, Woolstok. Worsted. Apparently my thing can't read either. There we go. So that was fun. Got that done. I use DPNs. As I've mentioned before, I'm a DPN girl whenever possible. So there you go. Gosh, the sweater, the socks, a hat. Well, it's knitting, but I'll save it for fat wool because I have some bags to show and a new vest I can show for fat wool. So let's go to works in progress. Oh, I have to get up again. There's another one over there. This one, did I show this last time? Don't know. Did I? I can't remember if I can't remember. I don't think I'd started this. I started this in Ann Arbor at the Fiber Festival, doing the September sweater by Petite Knit. And, excuse me, the pattern calls for silk mohair held triple. I'm not doing that. You should know that by, if you've watched me, if you're brand new. I rarely ever use the yarn called for in the pattern. I always do something else. Most of the time it works. Sometimes I've gotten in trouble. Most of the time it works. So, I am using Roberta Ray fibers. This is a new luxury base for us. This is, it's a fingering weight. 70%, I can read this label. I don't need the Home Depot readers. It is 70% superwash BFL, which is blue face luster, 20% silk, and 10% cashmere. 438 yards. This colorway we call Little Angel. And so this is a fingering weight, and it is a thin fingering weight. So I am holding, because the pattern calls for 3 strands of lace, I'm holding it double with Mohair Roberta Ray fibers. If you're new to my podcast, this is my company with my friend Geraldine. We are the dyers. This is called Bisque. So, holding these two together. And I pulled the pattern out. I'm getting ready to go. Oh, the whole sweater's brioche. Did not know that. Yeah, by golly, it's brioche. But it's one color brioche. I've done brioche once before in the Stephen West Speckle and Pop Mystery Knit Along last year. No, 2 years ago. Let's do a whole sweater. Why not? It's yarn. So here we go. Using my Chow-Goo needles. Oop. Construction is interesting, which means it was fine. But here we go. This is where we are so far. The front and the back. Arms. So I'd say, yeah, back here, that's the color. So it is kind of biscuity, creamy, kind of like lobster bisque color with little tiny speckles of green and blue. And talk about soft. Oh my goodness sakes. And then I've shown this before. When I hold yarns double, I like to wind them with the ball winder, put them on a yarn caddy. You have to make sure they both unwind in the same direction, but it keeps everybody nice and neat. It fits right in my, excuse me, right in my project bag. So I take it with me. So again, like I said, it's yarn. Brioche sweater, you've never done brioche except once. Let's go for it. I do have one small error here. It looks like a dropped stitch. No problem. I'll sew that up when I'm finished. But other than that, it's looking really well. Good. So you start with the back, and then you do some things, and then you do the front. No. You do the back, and then you join at the shoulders, and then from the shoulders you do the front, and then when you're done with the underarms and they're both this long, then you join and you start going in the round. Well, I had the darndest time figuring out. The first time around, I made a complete mess, and what was wrong? Oh, I made a mess. It was just a completely different row. It looked awful. It had to come out. So I ripped it out. Luckily, this yarn has excellent stitch memory. So even when you just pull on it like this, the stitches stick straight up. So it was super, super easy to put everything back on the needles. So I did that. Well, and then I kept going, and one side looked perfectly fine, the other side was wrong, and you could see a line. And then on the side, where at the end of the row, there was a big it was like there were 2 purl stitches, so it was this big space that wasn't in the pattern. And I think I'd gotten maybe this far and it was up to here, and I thought, it looks awful, I have to rip it out again. So I ripped it out a second time. This time I went past the line that was wrong again, and oh, I know what I had done wrong. So the pattern says at one point, it says from here to here, 27 rows back and forth. So I thought that meant 1, there and back, 2, there and back. So my armhole was all the way down here. And I thought, this armhole is down to my belly button. And I looked at the pattern, I'm like, A, I don't like big baggy sleeves like that. B, it doesn't look like that in the pattern. And so that's why I ripped it out the second time. So I ripped it out the first time, kept going. The sleeves were down to here, the armholes. And there was like maybe 1.5 inches, and it wasn't right because I had ended on the wrong stitch or done something. I mean, who knows? But I had 2 purled stitches instead of the purl. And I thought, okay, so that's when I ripped it back the second time. And so I went both front and back. I think I went to about here. Or did I didn't go all the way up to the neck. So probably about here. Put the stitches back on the needle. I counted. That's what I did first. I started at the shoulder seam. I went 27 purl bumps, put a marker in. So I did it up to the marker. This time I made sure, because I had it in my lap like this when I was pulling. So when I did this side, if the knit stitch was a single facing me, I made sure that on the bottom side, the single knit stitch was also was on the back side, was away from me. So it would be the same all the way around. So then I would know I'm on the same row all the way around. And that was the ticket. That worked. So now I have proper armholes. Actually there are 2 knit rows together right here, but it looks better than the other way around. So that's fine, I can live with that. And there was no line from where I picked up my row. See, it's just yarn. Go for it, try something new. If you have to rip it out 3 times, I used to think when I got started, well, I can't rip it out, then I've wasted all that time. Why would I rip out and throw away all that time? Well, I've changed my perspective on that, and you know what? It's not just the project, it's the time spent making the project, it's the time you spend with the yarn in your hands, and the process, and learning something new. And it's okay if you've spent hours and hours and hours doing something and ripping it out. Yeah, it's a bummer, especially if you're on a time crunch, or if you have a goal to have it done by an event or a holiday or something. Yes, then that's unfortunate, but most of the time it's okay to try it and rip it out. So there, you have my permission. So anyway, the September sweater by Petite Knit with Roberta Ray Fibers yarn. So that's that work in progress. I gotta get up again. I just cast this on today. This is going to be a Christmas present for my husband. This is suddenly quite popular. It's a new pattern. The Snuggle is Real cowl. And it is by Maxim Sear. Maxim, M-A-X-I-M, Sear, S-Y-R. And here's, can I show you this? So it's just a cowl with drawstrings. So he asked me, he's like, why don't you make me socks? Okay, first he's got guy feet, plus they're wide, plus his calves are wide, and I thought, dude, no. I actually want to, I have sweaters to make. I can't make you socks. Anyway, so, once again, I'm changing things up. The pattern calls for DK, right? Yep. Main color and a what is CC? Is it change colors? It's not second color. What is CC on a pattern? I don't know. Your secondary color, which would be SC, so I'm not. Change color 1. Those are both DK. Then on the inside, you can see it here. It's like a double knit almost. So there's an inside layer. That is lace held double. Am I doing that? No! Okay, so the main color, and again I'm stash busting. I cast this on. I went out, tried a new restaurant in the area for lunch today, took this with me, so I cast this on. This was yarn from my stash. I had participated in Stephen West's Yarn Along this summer, so you got 3 months of yarns with a pattern of his. And this year, because of his new West Wool line, it was West Wool yarn with something else. So I'm not making any of the, I don't know, I don't really expect to make any of the shawls. They weren't anything wrong, it just, they weren't into something I was interested in making, but the yarn went in my stash, of course. So this is same yarn that I'm wearing, West Wool Bicycle. This is Canal House batch 3. It's beautiful dark gray. So that's the main color of the cowl. This, and I'm going to hold, this is fingering weight, so I'm going to hold this double. Okay. This, and I asked him if he liked this color, my husband, he said yes. This is also fingering weight. I'm going to hold it double to get DK, and this is Skein from Australia. This was probably sent to me on a fiber share swap. That's probably how I got this. Yeah, because she sent me a Donna Hay, issue of Donna Hay. She sent me some Australian tea. I'm sure she sent me some other yarn. This is called Uptown Sock, 400 yards. And it is 100% superwash merino. So, those two together. This lighting is perfect. Here we go. So the dark gray is the light gray, and then you get into the pattern here. So, you know, not too crazy, not too loud for a guy. Then on the lace weight on the inside, I'm going to use this single. This is from my stash. It is left over from can't remember. I don't know, but I have lots of it. So this will be the inside cowl for my husband for Christmas. from the stash. Yay! So, looking forward to that. And then my Chowgoo needles, my absolute favorite needle. Love, love, love the Chowgoo. Okay. So, that's... yeah, that's 2 works in progress. Yep. So, other stash busting. This is yarn that I bought, pretty sure I bought this in Edinburgh at the Edinburgh Yarn Festival last year, 2018. Journalyn and I went, had an absolute fabulous time. If you're new to the podcast, I do have a video. If you're interested, watching somebody else's vacation usually is not that interesting. I get that. But if you're interested in seeing some of one things we saw in Edinburgh, I do have a video from our trip. This is Ushida. Merino singles. I know I got this in Edinburgh. 100% superwash merino, made in the Netherlands. Tiny Dancer is the colorway. Isn't that beautiful? And I decided I needed some pretty Valentine-y, late wintry spring socks. And these, I'm not going to do the easiest sock in the world. I'm going to use a pattern from the Sock Society. It's not called just the Sock Society, it's called the Helen Stewart. She has the Shawl Society, and she also did the Sock Society. I bought the Sock Society. I've made one of the patterns. I think there are 4 or 5 socks, and they're all lacy. So I will use that out of my stash. Oh, where's my phone? I need to show a picture of my next project in the lineup. This is a brand new pattern that was just released. Let me pull it up really quick. On Ravelry, Library, everything. Mid-Coast. The Mid-Coast Sweater by Jennifer Steingass. This one. And I really liked it because, well, because the yoke is just awesome. Now, why won't, there we go. Look at the sleeves. I'll try to get this so it doesn't, there we go. I love the detail on the sleeve. I love how it's a shorter sweater. It is not fitted, but it isn't boxy either. So, that is my next sweater. And stash diving once again. I knew I wanted to use this. This, I bought 4 or 5 skeins a year and a half, almost 2 years ago now, from a Whimsical Wood Yarn Company. I used one in my socks that have the interesting calf. But I thought this one was really cool, and I've been trying to find just the right project for it. So I want to use this for, originally I was going to use the white part. And then I'll pull the pattern out again. This was in my stash. I know this was sent to me from a swap partner. To me from a swap partner, yes. Undercover Otter, just not a brand you can get here in the States. Amsterdam. They sold this at Stephen and Penelope, but I did not buy this there. This was a gift. Superwash Merino Single. unreturned, it says. That must be the color. So, those were the colors for the yoke. Well then, of course, if you buy yarn like I do, and I'm going to let the dogs back in now. So if you buy yarn like I do, you don't usually buy 3 skeins. If you like something a lot, you'll buy 2. So my original plan, this was going to be the white, this was the orange. Well, I didn't have anything in my stash for the main color of the sweater. Luckily, I'm a yarn dyer, and we've got yarn to dye. So here we go. This I dyed up for Roberta Ray Fibers. It's called Soot. Superwash merino. I think it's 75-25. Superwash merino nylon. And I dyed enough to put in the store. So if this is a colorway that you're interested in, I'll have it in the store. But here we go. But now I'm considering using the orange for the white and this for the orange. And I was worried that there was too much of that the pattern might get lost, so that I thought that if I reverse the colors and use this in the white areas, that orange on the is completely encapsulated by the white. So this would completely surrounded by the orange, so it would not get lost in this for the main body of the sweater. So yeah, that would be, and that would be inside. No, be it, yes. So, yeah, it's great, it's a nice tonal. So again, so let's see. That's the whole pack of minis. My socks, we'll count the minis as 1 skein of yarn because it was 1 package. The socks, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so that's 7 out of my stash. 8, 9, 10, yahoo! So it's fun, I'm excited. I'm excited to go through, but oh my gosh, love this. I have to use it. But I think it needs to be surrounded by the orange, but that'll be awesome. So the orange, and then this will be on the inside. I think that's it. I think that's what we have to do. And again, this is Roberta Ray Fibers. It's still drying. I just dyed it yesterday. So it'll be in the shop probably by the weekend. If you don't see it and you're watching this, let me know. There we go. Soot by Roberta Ray Fibers. I have to remember to look at the camera. Okay. All right. So yeah, we need 3 skeins of that. Oh. So of course, we have dogs. Of course, we love our dogs. They're part of the podcast almost every time. And you've seen this picture behind me before, our dear Ellie. but now we have lost her. I've shown this picture before, but she was perfectly fine, but this is my absolute favorite picture. We lost her back in April. And she was a rescue, sweetest dog. We had her cremated, but for the first time, they made a paw print. Look at it. Look at the biggest feet. And I have big hands. So all of our dogs in the last 20 years have been cremated. But yeah, that's how big her feet were. Oh, she's such a sweetie. But every time I took her to the groomer, they saved her fur for me. And yes, I had yarn made from Stonehenge Fiber Mill out of Ellie's fur. So this is 70% Newfoundland. I think it's either 70 or 80%. Deb said at Stonehenge Fiber Mill she had to add some wool because the dog hair was so fine. So it's either 20 or 30%. I just painted my nails, so they're kind of, yeah. Anyway, there's 20 or 30% wool and 70 to 80% Newfoundland. This is worsted weight. It's kind of a fine worsted. It's almost DK. And I have used it. I've made some mitts for my friend who absolutely loves animals and has Newfies. And I think she likes them. She told me just recently that she wears them and people are just amazed. So I've got all of this yarn. I have a whole garbage bag full of the next round of hair, which I don't know if I'll have more made. And I did make something with it. I made this quite a while ago when I was first knitting. This is called the Selkie cape. Since I have Ravelry up. Okay. No, not selfie. Yes, Selkie. So this is the cape I made. And actually, I would not mind making this cape again out of yarn where you can really see the stitch definition. And let's see, who's this by? Melissa Schaschwary. Melissa. Okay. Okay. Schaschwary. So here it is. Oh, and there's buttons, buttonholes. So you can see this probably was not the best yarn choice because the collar is floppy, but I've got these big buttons. Is it warm? Oh my gosh, is it warm? Deb told me, and I don't know if this was just Newfoundland fur or if it was it can't be all dog fur. I have no idea. She said this is 5 times warmer than wool. Newfoundland fur is. This sucker is warm. Actually, we're going to dinner tonight. I should probably wear it, but there are buttons all down the front. You can kind of see the stitch definition. The only oh, and I made myself a pair of mittens out of this, just really basic, no pattern, nothing mittens. They felted like that. So if this should get wet, it will felt like nobody's business. But there you go, so you can see, and there's a braided collar all the way around, which is difficult to see. Oh my gosh, I'm already warm. So, yeah, my yarn from Ellie. It does not smell like a dog. It does not. Absolutely has no smell whatsoever, any different than your wool does. Because someone said to me, oh my gosh, you're going to smell like a wet dog. Well, you don't. It does not. It doesn't smell at all. Okay, no. What it does do is shed like a dog. I would wear it to a coffee shop, and the whole time I'd try to take a, girls, no. Hey, no. Storm, no. I'd go to take a sip of my coffee, and because there'd be dog hair like everywhere. Speaking of dogs, so that's a new one, but I highly recommend this cape. It was super fast. Oh my gosh, you guys, no. Hey, no, that's enough. No. So, poor Ellie, she was old, she was a rescue. We don't know exactly how old she was, but she was with us for 10.5 years. So, she was definitely getting up there. Let's see, I made a shirt. Pink, it's like, holy cow. I've had this fabric forever. And when my mom was here, she cut the pattern out for me. And so I went back to my first pattern. I still need buttons. So I still need buttons. But I put the pocket on the wrong side. Should be on the left side. And my arms are backwards. I mean, they look fine. They're nice and long. The problem is that the short side is on top of the arm, and it should be on the bottom of the arm. At least the plackets both go to the back. I just put them on the wrong side. We lengthened the body. My mom noticed on the gray shirt, which I never noticed, that the bust dart was actually up on my clavicle bone. Not really that high, but it was high. And so we lowered that a little bit, and then added some to the body, and it fits fabulously. So when I get buttons, I'll show you that. Okay, now I have something super cool to show. We're moving on to Fat Wool Company. Oh, so the backstory, you've probably heard of Vogue Knitting Live. And so they have a show every, no! Oh my God, Storm, no. Vogue Knitting Live. Every January they have a huge show in New York City, and then a few times a year they're out in different areas of the country. In fact, this weekend they're in Columbus, Ohio. They also have been in Seattle. I don't know if they've been in Chicago, but yeah, they bounce around the other cities, but there's always January in New York City. They put out a call, I'm on their email list. They put out a call for submissions for a first ever fashion show for designers. And so I was like, wow, should I? I could do fat wool and my designs for fat wool. You know, I'm sure no one else will submit anything like that. So I did. And I have a jacket that I submitted, the brown jacket, the Midland jacket. There is a vest along the camel colored vest. I submitted that. And then I thought, oh, I need something I need something else. I need something kind of really cool. And so I made this. So I have to put the button on. This is 100% merino from Michigan Farmers. It's really long. As a matter of fact, maybe I should just put it on so you can see it. So we'll take this off. I'm starting to have a habit of undressing during my podcast. Now, my poor girl here, it looks like she's been fondled. She has not. I made a cape or a shrug or something, and I put it on her when it was still wet. I did not realize that she would grow mold. And so she grew mold in her privates. And I've tried bleaching, I've tried like OxyClean, and nothing, it looks even worse. So, poor girl, we'll move her off to the side. So, this 100% merino wool. A long vest. I haven't put the button on yet. There will be a closure here. So I also submitted this. I love a nice big dramatic collar. I don't know if you can see it all right. If you want, you can have a relaxed collar, do it like this. I mean, that's the cool thing. I will be listing this on my store. It is not there yet. 100% core spun merino wool. It's fabulous. And then I thought, for styling, you can do anything. Boots, jeans, heels and jeans, a t-shirt, any kind of shirt, a silky blouse thing. You could wear like a long silky dress. Then I was also thinking, like if you had an off-white, like Art Deco style, almost wedding dress, you know, the kind that just went straight down with the ruffles and all the different Art Deco 1930s, and have it a short sleeve. This could be your cover-up over a wedding dress, a winter wedding, and with long elbow length gloves, knit gloves. I thought that would be really cool. And then you can have your hair up and like some sort of veil or headpiece. I mean, oh my gosh, that'd be so cool. But I'm a little bit strange like that, but I think that would be awesome. Cowgirl boots, anything. What are those heels with the red soles? Molino Blahniks? Something like that. I don't know. So, I applied. So this was my third submission. And they had said in the application that submissions were due by October 20th, and they would be contacting the winners. They were taking 6 designers for a fashion show at Vogue Knitting Live in New York City. So, and the application said, if you do not hear from them, you didn't make it. They were only going to be contacting the winners, and it would be somewhere between October 22nd and October 25th. Okay. So 22nd goes by, I don't hear anything. 23rd goes by, I don't hear anything. On the 24th, my husband and I were out to dinner. He gets up to go to the bathroom, so I get my phone, and of course, I'm checking all the time to see if I get an email. And I check my email while he's in the bathroom, and there's an email from Vogue Knitting Live. And my eyes got big, and I still have it on here because I keep rereading it to make sure I got it. So they said, if you do not get an email from us, you didn't make it. We are only contacting the winners. So I get this email. Thank you for your submission to the Kaleidoscope Fashion Show. Our judges had their work cut out for them with more than 60 submissions. After a long deliberation, our judges selected 6 designers that will be featured in the Kaleidoscope Fashion Show at Knitting Live in New York. Unfortunately, your designs were not selected. Ah! No! So, anyway, that was, you know, you're not going to make it if you don't try. So at least I tried to make it. But, oh my gosh, to specifically say, we're not going to contact the losers, only the winners. And then you get an email. Thank you for submitting. You didn't make it. Oh well, but I have this lovely thing. And I will be having a trunk show, a pop-up shop at Bloom Floral Design in Petite, Friday, December 6th from 6 to 9 p.m. And then at the Charlevoix store, Bloom Floral Design, on Saturday, December 7th from 9 to 5. So this will be there. All of my items, my products will be there. And there will be some refreshments served from Bloom Floral. You get to see all the wonderful, wonderful selections that Bloom Floral has in her store. And then I will have my pop-up shop during the holiday festivities in Charlevoix and Petite coming up in December. So, but this will go in the store. Oh, gosh, this is so nice. So soft. So soft. Oh my gosh. Yeah, if you like to make a statement when you walk in a room, this will do it. That will do it for sure. So we'll take that off. Put it back on the mannequin, cover her up. Okay, now it's oh, well, I'll just put this on for now. All right, we are going along good on our time. I have, so like I said, I need some buttons. See, but here's the seam. This should actually be on the, so yeah, the placket is facing the outside like it should, but this center seam here should actually, this part should be on the bottom, not on the top. It should be down here. So, whatever. I bet you no one else notices, but you will if you see me wearing this shirt, because you'll say, my, the next shirt, you should really, then I'll know you watch my podcast. Okay. So, yeah, if I ever do a giveaway, it'll be something like that. What mistake did I make on my current sewing project? That'll be the giveaway question. All right. So yes, nice long sleeves. Fits great. Here's the shoulder seam. Pocket will be over here next time. But yeah, it fits really well. I'm excited. And it's long enough so when I tuck it in, it won't pop out all the time. So I'm excited. Oh, I feel like we're on a whirlwind. All right, I have some other sewing. I've got a couple fat wool bags. This is the Knit Night Clutch. So perfect for socks, a hat, beginning of a small project. A couple, definitely not more than 2 skeins. There's the inside, has a nice little hook. I have to put a pom-pom on here. I like to put little pom-poms on. And here's another one. These are not yet in the store, but I do have others. But I just need make listings for these. So another knit night clutch that is black. And here's the inside. So again, a nice little hook there. That little co-label. And I have an extra large continental. I might call these XLs. Not sure, but I have some upgrades from my previous bag. I can't even get this whole bag in the picture. So yes, 2 human heads can fit in this bag. Canvas bottom. I'm now making my own handles. So this is a waxed canvas handle. Found some cool sturdy brass hardware. I'm using grommets instead of buttonholes now. I found a nice selection of different colored metals for those. Again, Anna Maria Horner fabric. And then the inside. And down in there are pockets. It's the width of the bag, and it's divided into 3 sections. The pocket down there. So, but this one's bigger. This is bigger than the last bunch that I made, which are sold out. I sold all of these out. Drawstring. And here we go. So, just to show you how it looks on. Got the buckle almost all the way. So here we go. I had a lady buy one at a show for a purse. It's interesting when people look at these at a show and, oh, well, look at these. What are these? I need my buttons on my sleeves. Well, they're project bags, so then they put them down because they're not knitters. Oh, so they can't. I'm like, well, you can use it for whatever you want. But yeah, a lady bought one for a purse. This one is pretty monochrome, you know, so anybody can use it for whatever you'd like. And the waxed canvas handle. Sakes. So, let's see. I've been talking for a while now, 1 hour and 7 minutes. I didn't think this would take this long. Yeah, I mean, podcasting is interesting because I'm a pretty quiet person. I don't talk a lot all day. So it's amazing to me that I can natter on for 1 hour and 7 minutes by myself talking to a camera. If I can do it, you can do it. So give it a try. I guess that's it. I'm pretty sure that's it for now. So it's October. Our daughter, I just have to give a shout out to her. She's a senior this year, and she's been playing volleyball, but this year she decided to run cross country. She's never been a distance runner before. We had regionals last weekend. She won 10th place in our division at the regional championship. The ladies team won the championship. And they are going to the state cross-country meet, the state finals, this Saturday in Brooklyn, Michigan at Michigan International Speedway. So we're just beyond excited for her and just amazed at her dedication when she if we had suggested it, forget it. But when she makes up her mind, look out. It's just amazing. So, but I need a dog sitter, so if there's anyone that would like to come to the house and watch the dogs, let me know. Oh dear. Anyway, I gotta hang this back up. It's still wet. Soot sock. Okay, now I'm just rattling on. So I might get a little more knitting done before it's time to go out to dinner for my anniversary with my husband. And yeah, now that the dogs are quiet, I'm all done talking. So have a great Halloween, happy Halloween, and hopefully I'll see you before the end of the year. You never know. Bye. Thanks for watching. Hey, if you watched till the very end and you're still here and you haven't liked or subscribed, please do so. My last video only had 35 views, so whatever. I've talked about that, and this is fun, so I guess it doesn't really matter. It'd be fun to have more views, but that's the way it is. But anyway, so give a girl a confidence boost. If you don't usually like and subscribe to things, throw one on there for me. Let me know that you at least watched it to the end. All right, have a good day. Happy knitting, and we'll see you later. Bye. All right, so I thought I'd update you on the garden. Just brought the dogs out after making the video in the house. So these were just installed. Oh, there goes Clarky. Storm thinks he wants to play. He does not. I might have to work on this one or pull that apart a little, but I just had these supports made to cover the roses. So I've never covered them before, and you know, they're really not that big. I mean, this one here on the end looks great. So then I thought this year that actually I really should try to cover them. Oh yes, WrestleMania has begun. So here we go. These were just installed, so we'll see how this works. There's Clark. Hi. Hi, Clark. So I'm really not worried about the other side of the fence. It was keeping the snow off from the top, so we'll see how it works. So I'm looking forward to that. So things are dug up. I have planted tulips and garlic. So all the beds that are, well, not all of them, but some of them. The other ones I just haven't turned over, but the edges have tulips, and the two middle squares there, the kitty corner squares, have garlic. So, and who moves first? Let's see. Go. The stare down. Oh, there we go. Nope, she didn't take it. All right, apparently they're going to be here all day. So I also, if you watched Arne and Carlos, you may have watched their garden compost. Oh my God. Jeez. You guys are screwed. No, get out of there. Out. Out. Go. Okay. They do not have these big bins, but I've had two of these big bins for a couple of years now, and I've been waiting patiently for compost. But this thing comes up, and look at that wonderfulness. So next year, when I'm planting my vegetables, I'm hoping this is the ticket to get gorgeous vegetables. So I've had these two, and it's, of course, I've had them for 2 years now, and I still have not used any compost. And I've been throwing in plants and food waste from the kitchen. Well, I got two more, and one of them has dirt in it so that I can, if the ground freezes, of course that'll probably freeze too, but if it doesn't, because I was watching Arne and Carlos, and they did an episode. There's Clark again. Hi, Clark. Here's our outdoor pizza oven. That's a lot of fun. So Arne and Carlos did an episode on their Bokashi. So let me go inside and show you about that. Okay. Okay, Clark. So, Arne and Carlos did a gardening episode on how they compost. And so instead of screwing around, poking holes and making my own bucket, these are not that expensive on Amazon. So I got 2 of these buckets, and they each come with a bag of Bokashi, which it says Bokashi is an all-natural compost starter. It says controls order normally. Well, depends on your definition of controls. What is it? All natural compost starter. Product of Thailand, Malaysia, Colombia, South Africa, and or the United States. Easy to use odor controller. I don't know exactly what it is. They said it was like a fermented something, but I have no doubt. Quickens the composting process. Okay, so inside this bucket, there is about right here, there is a plastic tray with holes in it, like a strainer. And then you put your food waste on top of it. Arne and Carlos demonstrated. Hang on. So you put your food waste in, cover it with a generous handful of the flakes, and then you cover it with a piece of paper, paper towel, something, and every time you push it down as hard as you can. When it's full, and I have a second bucket that is full, you let it sit. Do not take the lid off. It's an anaerobic process, they explain. Do not take the lid off for 2 to 3 weeks. Then you put it out in your outdoor composting bin, which is what I will do with those 2 new bins that I have. And I was going to turn the video around, but I can't. So then you take it outside, and then you have to cover that with dirt, which is why I need unfrozen dirt to fill my second 2 bins over the winter. But there's a storm coming in tomorrow night. So winter seems to be moving in quickly. Here's the front walk to the house. There's a road up there. You can hear the traffic going by. We're well past peak color. It's just the oranges and the yellows that are hanging on the trees. So that's what's going on outside, but that's my gardening project. Oh, and then there's a spigot here. You open that out, you drain the liquid, because you don't want this full of liquid. So as the liquid drains, you undo the spigot there. Holy cow, does that stink. That is like stomach turning putrid. But you mix it with water and you water your houseplants with it. And I've been doing that once every 10 days or so. I've done it twice now. The houseplants look good, but oh my God, the tea that you get from it, the compost tea, I hope it works wonders, because it is the second most putrid thing I've ever smelled in my life. So that's it. Not a lot of exciting video. I can't turn this around. I don't know. I've got the new phone and you can't turn it around to look at me. Anyway, that's it for now. Bye.